Hey everybody, how you doing? This is HUD Zero, the old school gamer, the iron heart of Xbox, and I'm here with a new segment. It's called the SquaX. That's SQAX, and we talk everything about Xbox. And I am back with a live video. Thank you for taking time to watch one of my videos. It's always greatly appreciated. Something a little new. I decided to go this route because I found some awesome news for the past couple of it turns out that Xbox One has gained quite a bit of popularity ever since E3. And then of course the because of the bad press that the PlayStation 4 has been getting with their reveal with the PlayStation 4 Slim and of course the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, everyone tends to have this bad rapport. Not everyone, but most of the fanboys out there, especially on the PlayStation side, they tend to downplay the greatness that has been happening with the Xbox One, and it's kind of sad because we're all gamers at the end of the day, and of course, we're all consumers of gaming products, but you gotta admit the Xbox One has some great games that are coming out this holiday season. And the PlayStation 4 right now, as of the holiday season, everything's been delayed. And it turns out that a lot of the people who was just sitting on the fence are in the way looking at the Xbox One as a viable choice. I mean, think about this. The Xbox One has great features. Uh the the Xbox One S has 4K content, via the Netflix and then of course Amazon, and then of course it has the Ultra Blu-ray player, which the PlayStation 4 Pro sorely lacks. And then of course you have the HDR with this, which is called High Dynamic Range, which the Xbox One S has true HDR10, and the PlayStation 4 with their new firmware update has what? A faux uh, HDR, which is not true HDR because it requires an HDMI uh, 2.0, not the 1.4 that the PlayStation 4 currently has. And Albert Pinetto has been looking at this very closely. Shout out to Albert. He has been looking at this very closely, and he was very curious about how this is all going to work. Now, the greatness awaits for a very long time, and a lot of the PlayStation 4 fans out there are starting to realize that the Xbox One is not as bad as everyone's been making it out to be. Now, I'm pretty sure that you actually seen the uh, current video of the first 20 minutes, the prologue of Gears of War 4. Now, Aaron Greenberg has mentioned that it's actually running on the vanilla Xbox One, not the Xbox One S. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. The graphics, the lighting, the visual effects, the particle effects. It's I mean, it's mind blowing that they're actually able to do this. Now, and also Aaron Greenberg has mentioned that it's using the true D DirectX 12 from the ground up. Now everyone's been touting that the DirectX 12 is this make believe thing that Xbox has been touting for years now, and not one game has been fully utilizing what DirectX 12 can actually do. Now, if you don't know what DirectX 12 is, DirectX 12 is, of course, is the program that allows the cores, all the cores in the PC as well as the Xbox, and it leverages the amount of information coming from all of them instead of just one and spilling over to the next. So it actually lowers the strain that the one core is actually doing, and it evenly sorts the amount of information that that, that all the cores are actually running, together. So it's really amazing that people are doubting that the Xbox One has gained this awesome momentum uh, with the release of Forza Horizon 3, and everyone, including the press, has been floored of how amazing the game actually is. I mean, when you look at the lighting, and of course the ability of using HDR10, and of course, then you have the crossplay as well as the ability to to play anywhere, play anywhere that's going on. So you can be able to play on the PC and continue off of what you did on the Xbox One and vice versa. So you got to think, this is what Xbox's the Xbox team has been pushing for, and a lot of fans out there are starting to realize that. I mean, you can see the change in the uh, the narrative that's going on right now about Xbox and what it's touting to do, and people are starting to forget that all the stumble out of the gate of the vanilla Xbox One, and with Phil Spencer at the helm, I can tell there's going to be some amazing things going on. Now, getting into what everyone has to realize, Xbox has potential across the board, and the release of Recore, and you saw the Metacritic score. I actually have been playing it, and I think it's an amazing game. And of course, the team at Concept and they actually um, put out a patch to decrease some of the strenuous load times that people have been uh, giving negative press about. So now you're actually waiting for basically about 35, 36 seconds, and for some of the open world stages, it takes about roughly 45 seconds, give or take. So but the game is is amazing. It's fun. The platforming, the classic Metroid style of the game, and of course, if you're familiar with Mega Man, if you play Mega Man Legends, and you played the Metroid Prime series, you can tell that the artists and of course the programmers have took some of those elements and added it to this game. Not to mention the fact that you have a amazing core bots to help out, and the AI is taking over the core bots. So uh, it's a great story. I'm hoping that they really um, put more emphasis on this as a exclusive IP, and hopefully get a sequel. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to seeing a sequel to this game. and it's um Xbox right. The Xbox team is doing some amazing things. Um, and I feel as an gamer, that just because PlayStation, and Sony and the PlayStation brand, they have this history, and people are thinking that Microsoft has no bearing on what gamers want. But you got to realize that the Xbox team, are filled with amazing programmers that actually have dealt and has a lot of history in the gaming industry. I mean, you have um people who's been there, who there's programmers who's those who actually were a part of Xbox since the very beginning. You have Phil Spencer, who actually was also a program writer, who created games such as Voodoo Vince. Um, and I'm hoping, against hope, that they keep this momentum going. And I hope they don't get their heads in the cloud and make the same mistakes that Sony and the PlayStation brand is actually doing right now. Right now, there's a lot of negative press, and they're hoping that people will just forget it. They would say, "Oh, well, you know what? The fans are not going to they're not going to worry about what we did because we're PlayStation. We're invincible. We can do whatever we want to because we don't care what you think. We know what you want." And it's sad because I was really hoping that they would be more like neck and neck. Now, just to point out, the the gap is going to close fairly quickly in the upcoming months. And quote me on this, I feel like after this holiday season, you're going to see more of a neck and neck worldwide, not just in the US. I feel like in the US, the gap is going to either close or the Xbox is going to surpass the PlayStation 4. And in by next year, you're going to see a closer gap in the UK and other territories. Now, I can understand that in Japan, that no one really cares about Xbox because it's an American brand. But I have been hearing some rumblings from some Xbox gamers who actually live in Japan. Not the people who actually live on a military base, but I'm talking about those who actually are native Japanese gamers. They're seeing the amazingness that the Xbox One S is doing, and they're convincing all their friends to actually pick one up. Now, I'm actually seeing stories that people are picking up the Forza Horizon 3. Now, I can see that sales in Japan is starting to gonna pick up. Not by much, but you're going to see instead of about 300, 400 units, you're gonna see probably 600, 700, maybe 1,000. Probably by the end of the holiday season, you're going to see probably in the 10,000s, and Xbox is going to go up and up. The sales right now in the PlayStation 4 in Japan right now are actually on a decline. I've been hearing some rumblings that the PlayStation 4 Slim has not been selling too well. Actually, on the Amazon top 100 bestsellers, you're not seeing the PlayStation 4 Slim at all. And it's and I almost feel bad for the Sony team because they had such great momentum for the past 3 years, and now it's going to it's almost an absolute halt. And Do you feel any sentiment? Not really. I don't feel that much sentiment. I mean, I almost feel bad, but not so much, because all the PlayStation fanboys out there, they've been sitting right there making fun of people who pick up the Xbox. They called the Xbox One vanilla a VCR box. They called the Xbox One the the slow-mo box, unable to find settings, which is kind of ridiculous. They said they don't have any games or games that they actually like. Yeah, they got to get that right. Um, they some of them actually like those games that are have that Japanese flair. The very weird Weibo type of games. And that's not what people want. People are looking for fun, exciting games that have a great social atmosphere. The Xbox One right now, and especially with the S, you're seeing that the community is actually starting to grow. I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers out there. They're actually getting into the YouTube community, and they're voicing their joys of the Xbox One more loudly than it has for the past 3 years. Including myself, I haven't really got on that often, and I apologize. But like I said, I'm very busy. But the Xbox One S has flipped the script and made it a viable gaming console. Not only that, but it has amazing features. It updates almost all the time. They actually included clubs. There's some great games that actually just got on the game preview program. Have you picked up Everspace? Have you tried out Everspace? Oh my gosh. If you're looking for a game that you're looking for, like a space shooter, that is a game to actually pick up. It's not necessarily the same as, say, No Man's Sky or No Man's Lie, I guess you would call it. I mean, speaking of which, I mean, let me just jump into No Man's Sky for just a millisecond. It overpromised and underdelivered. I mean, let's just keep it real. I actually got a chance to try it out, and it's a walking simulator with spaceships. That's basically what it is. The promises that the team has put out for that, and also the fact that Sony has turned their back completely, gave it a did a 180 halt. At first, they were touting it as treating it as first party game, but and it made so much money in August, but they lost pretty much most of that money from all the players who actually felt like they got gypped, and I don't blame them. Now, there's a team in UK that is there's a lot of players out there that want to sue. Do I blame them? No, absolutely not. I don't get why people don't understand that Sony has promised so much and they undelivered every single time. Of course, people had that dose of nostalgia about a year ago, during the not this past E3, but the year before, when they had all the nostalgic games. They said they were going to bring out the Final Fantasy VII. They were going to bring out the Shenmue 3 and all these things. But the problem is that none of these games are going to be coming out this year. The only exception is Final Fantasy 15, but that's also coming out for the Xbox One. And they actually optimized the game very good. There used to be a lot of stuttering, the color palette has actually kind of grayed out a little bit. But they said that they may be implementing HDR possibly as a day one patch. So take that with a grain of salt. And the reason why they're going to do that is because the PlayStation 4 Pro is supposed to be doing HDR also. Um, but who wants the PlayStation Pro? I don't. I'm not going to pick up the PlayStation Pro. I don't care what it does. It looks like a watered down mid-gen console. And the Xbox One S, which does is still not quite as powerful as the PlayStation 4 and probably still not as powerful as the PlayStation Pro. But the PlayStation Pro doesn't have features that the Xbox One S has, such as Ultra Blu-ray player. Why they omitted that, I have no idea. Game's been delayed until next year, except for one, The Last Guardian, which believe it or not, has been in development for almost a decade. I mean, isn't that sad? That's sad. And then, of course, you have all these multiplats that are coming out. They have a deal with Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, and Infinite Warfare. Look at Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare actually runs worse on the PlayStation Pro, and that is with the so-called HDR, which is a fake HDR, and also it's to upscaled to not 4K, but double the resolution and almost double the resolution, and you're looking at the graphics and the gameplay. I feel that people are going to be upset. What are you going to use HDR for the vanilla PlayStation 4? Give me one thing, because to my knowledge, the HDR 10 is only available on 4K monitors, on 4K TVs. And if you can show me one 1080p TV, I'm talking about something from like last year or whatever that uses HDR. Not one. I mean, I am somewhat disappointed because I mean I was looking forward to the PlayStation 4 Pro. I was kind of curious about what it would actually do. I was thinking, oh, well, this one is going to have an Ultra Blu-ray player. Oh, this one might have the optical drive that they decided to take out of the Xbox. Sorry, of the PlayStation 4 Slim. But they took out the optical port. Why did they do that? You know that games such as not Rock Band, but the Rockstar, Rocksmith. I'm sorry, Rocksmith actually needs the optical port because it actually has higher bandwidth, and the sound and of course what you're strumming is in sync better, almost 1 to 1. The HDMI port is actually slower. So that means when you're strumming, you're not what you're seeing on screen is not it's going to be a slight delay, and you're gonna be failing most of the songs. And of course, the Astros that's supposed to be coming out for the PlayStation, they actually had to go back to the drawing board because they decided to take out the optical port. So you can't use the Astro 50s that's supposed to be coming out for the PlayStation 4 Slim and the PlayStation 4 Pro. What are they thinking? I don't think they're thinking on all cylinders. I mean, come on. What? How do I explain to most of the fanboys out there that the PlayStation 4 Pro is going to be a poor man's game console? Let's be real. All right, for $399, this is what you're getting. You're getting the PlayStation 4 vanilla, basically, plus a uptick or a higher tetrabytes, and I think that basically they're using you know a um higher bandwidth, for it. So 4.2 teraflops. Okay, it's 4.1 and 4.2. And but the CPU is kind of anemic, so there's a huge bottleneck right there. So that means you're not going to be getting all that power squeezed through the CPU, because if the CPU heavy games such as Call of Duty, there's going to be problems, and it already showed it. Digital Foundry actually just put out something about earlier this month, talking about that the slowdown almost up to 24 frames per second, which is sad. And a game like that is supposed to be 60 frames per second. But when you look at the Xbox One S, yeah, doubt it. Yeah, it doesn't have, as many teraflops. It's only I think it upticked to 1.8, 1.6. I mean, up 1.6 teraflops. But the games actually run better. I mean, look at all the backwards compatible games. The backwards compatible games right now with the current update on the console, now the games are a little more optimized, so the games actually run smoother. They already showed it in Call of Duty World of Warfare. They showed it in Bayonetta. They showed it in Call of Duty 2, and they showed a little bit of Call of Duty 3. Yeah, I mean Call of Duty 3. I mean, there's still, but I'm pretty sure they could be able to optimize that. Microsoft right now is the king of optimization. They actually know about software. They know how things work, and I'm just putting it out there. There's going to be some more surprises coming up in the upcoming months. I mean, they're slowly bringing out some of the games that we actually like backwards compatibility. And I'm thinking that that they actually have also a little more gusto. They have a little more pep in this step. And when they right now, Phil Spencer visited Australia for the past couple of days, and they actually did a fan fest over there, and there was a huge turnout, and people are actually they're praising the Xbox team and the Xbox One S. So you gotta say to yourself, what what am I waiting for? I mean, pretty sure a lot of people out there are probably waiting for the Project Scorpio, which is coming out next year. But now people are looking at the Xbox One S and saying, you know what? And shout out to Mooch. Mooch actually did a very good point. He says that, you know what, you could actually invest in the Xbox One S for now. But when the Xbox Scorpio or the Project Scorpio, I hope they keep the Scorpio name. If the Scorpio comes out, they can actually trade in their Xbox One S towards Scorpio, and all your games carry over. They're not going to leave any gamer behind. All the Xbox games, Xbox 360 backwards compatible games that are available, and all the Xbox One games that are available are going to be ported over to the Xbox Scorpio. And I'm very sure that they're going to optimize it to the point where a lot of the games are going to have more PC specs. So that means you have the optimization of the Scorpio. The games are going to be faster, running. Most of the games are going to be running at 4K, native 4K. And since the CPU is probably going to get a boost, you're going to probably see 60 frames per second. And people are doubting that the Scorpio is going to do that. But you gotta also understand, by the time that the Scorpio comes out, they are going to have enough time to be able to optimize it and optimize it again to the point that the games are actually going to look beautiful on your 4K screen, and it's going to run at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second. They already started experimenting. Actually, as a matter of fact, Digital Foundry did a video recently for Forza Horizon 3, and they got the game to run at 4K and running at a smooth 60 frames per second using a 480 what was it? I think it was a 480 uh I forgot what it's I'm not very technical when it comes to um most of the hardware, but they use a Titan X, and the Titan X actually seemed to run a little bit better. But you gotta really start thinking that Xbox has the right idea when it comes to the future of gaming. So the beast is unleashed. The holiday season is coming up. I'm actually looking forward to the Xbox One as doing well from now well until December, possibly February. Most of the other games that are coming out is going to be like February, March, April. I believe one of the games that are coming out for the PlayStation 4 Pro that people are waiting for is Horizon Zero Dawn. But is that the only game that people are going to actually look for? I can't really look into that. And also, what other games are you going to be having that's going to take advantage of the PlayStation 4 Pro during the holiday season? When the game comes out, what games are going to be optimized for the PlayStation 4 Pro that you're going to be able to buy day one? I'm waiting. Hmm? Nothing? Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought. So people are going to buy the PlayStation 4 Pro to play all of their vanilla PlayStation 4 games, but there's not going to be any major they don't have a great upscaler on the console that is going to. I mean, yeah, you're going to see a slight improvement, but you're not going to see a major improvement. And also, the games have to have HDR implemented into their games for it to take advantage. But they're all older games. Oh man, I'm telling you, this is going to be a very, very interesting holiday. So tell me on your, on the comments below. What do you think? What's going on? What are you thinking? I mean, what are your thoughts about this? Do you feel like that Xbox really has an opportunity? I really think so. Do you really think that Xbox might have the momentum to actually be able to have a win throughout the entire holiday season? Believe it or not, even with the launch of the PlayStation 4 Pro, I feel like the Xbox One S is going to squeak out a victory. Small, but still squeak out a victory. Of course, the PlayStation faithful are going to probably pick up the Pro, but all the new gamers, the casuals, the ones who are actually looking at the differences, you're gonna look at the Xbox One S and say, "Wait, this one has Ultra Blu-ray. I could be able to buy Ultra Blu-ray players and play these wonderful movies in a higher fidelity with HDR coloring, so you can see the deeper blacks and the brighter whites, and the colors pop off the screen." Is it meant to be that the Xbox One now might be the leader? Probably well until 2017. You know what? I really think it is. So tell me what your thoughts are. I'm actually just this is my first show, live show actually. The SquaX. I'm actually gonna try to do this every Thursday. I'm hoping that I actually get invited to some other shows, but right now, the way my scheduling conflicts is, I mean, it might not be, viable, but I'm actually looking forward to it. So this is HUD Zero signing off. This is the HUD Zero old school gamer, the Iron Heart of Xbox, and I'm out of here. And remember, the gamers play on the box.